Hello, hello, and welcome. This is See Through. This is a podcast with me, Achita Gopi. We've been doing this for quite some time, and this is where we come together and we get connected and we help see each other through each day. And we help kind of see each other through a lot of Vedic texts and spiritual wisdom texts in order to kind of help each other understand what's going on. We have this See Through podcast live on YouTube, and we also have it live in a Zoom room in Patreon. So if you would like to be part of the Zoom room on Patreon, all you have to do is join Patreon, and I will be posting the link for Patreon into the chat in YouTube so that everybody can join in. It's actually quite a nominal asking per month, but we try to come together at least once a week. So we've been coming together on Mondays and checking in with each other, seeing how we're doing, having some realizations, exploring some things with one another. Last week, we were exploring certain pastimes of Sri Krishna and his friends and his mother. We talked about the nectar emanating from the heart, which is often used as an analogy. We hear about Mother Yashoda's overflowing of breast milk, and some people might think like that is a foreign idea for me, right? We've got no milk. What do we do if that's a foreign concept? The good news is we all have this nectar of the heart, the Hridaya Amrita, right? We have this nectar overflowing and emanating from the heart. And the person who has that overflowing the most is Krishna's own mother, Yashoda Rani. So we spoke about that. We spoke about how we can cultivate that nectar and allow it to overflow from our hearts, because Krishna is always hungry, eager, ready, greedy for that nectar. So we can develop an even deeper relationship with our Krishna just through cultivating what is naturally within our hearts. And that's what I really love. Krishna doesn't ask you to do anything out of what you are ordinarily doing. He simply says, just give me the best of what you have. Give me the best of what you got naturally. You don't have to become someone completely different. Use everything that you've got and just give your heart. So I promised that we would dive into a very wonderful pastime, one that I have loved for years now. Last week we were speaking about the different times when Mother Jashoda calls Krishna home. Come home. Come have your lunch. You've been out playing since the morning. It's time for you to come home now. And Krishna sometimes doesn't want to go home. He thinks I've just started playing with my friends, and if I leave, what will they think? Krishna's caught up in thinking, what will society say? Isn't that something? Krishna's caught up in thinking, what will my friends think? And I have been hearing from so many friends and devotees that they're often thinking this way in life. What will society think? If I take one action, what will society think? If I journey on the course of my life following my heart, what will society think? What will my friends think? What will the people around me think? Have we ever felt this way, even journeying into our spiritual lives? If I really dive into this, what will everyone else think? What will I do? Who will I be left with as companions? Will I have any companions? Is there anything left for me? What does that mean? Does it mean that I'll forever be alone? And in this regard, in my book Prema Mala, I have a poem that I've written. And this poem is called Follow You. and I'd like to share it with all of you today. To follow you, does that mean I walk alone? Forever misunderstood by all who hear me, constantly mumbling your name. To follow you, does it mean that I forsake the rest? Scorned by onlookers everywhere, abandoned by those who cannot hear your flute song. Come with me, I've said, but my encouragement was met with silence. It was then that I realized you had not shown yourself to everyone. To follow you means that the greatest bliss awaits me. The sound of your footbells, the nectar of your voice, the touch of your lotus hand. A constant festival for my soul. To follow you means all that and more. If no one else can see you, then that is their misfortune. I can only pray for them, but I cannot stop following you. When will I understand that to follow you means that I will never be alone again? To follow you is everything. So sometimes we can feel like following Krishna puts us on this path of complete and utter isolation. But it doesn't. To follow Krishna means we have Krishna and Krishna's entire entourage, Krishna's family, Krishna's friends. But even Krishna was a little bit concerned about what his friends would think, how his friends would react. So sometimes we can think, to follow Krishna, what will my friends think? What will my family think? I mean, after all, even great saints have faced the problem of their families saying, okay, to be spiritual is good, but too much spirituality is going to ruin your life. So we often wonder, if I dive wholeheartedly into this spirituality, I'm going to be weird. No one's going to get me. No one's going to understand me. And everyone will think too much spirituality will ruin your life. But to follow Krishna is everything. And these sanghas help us realize that. These sanghas help us realize that there will be someone who gets us. There will be many who will not, but there will be a chosen few who will become our tribe. So sometimes Krishna doesn't want to go home. And I thought, let's share another pastime. Let's take a pilgrimage. Let's go on yatra together. I am often feeling like, I miss going on yatra. I miss pilgrimage when I'm not there. So fine. Today, we're going to Vrindavan. We are going to Nandishwar Hill, where Krishna and Nanda Maharaj have their palace, Nanda Bhavan, Nanda's mansion. And it has so many rooms. It is thick with columns, and it is so large, with so much space. Nanda Maharaj alone had 900,000 cows. So imagine if the barn could fit that many cows. What was the palace like for the people? And Nandishwar Hill is named because it is actually a manifestation of like Lord Shiva, his head bowing at the feet of Krishna, him just wanting to reside in that place where Krishna will make his pastimes. And so Nandishwar is also known as Lord Shiva. But Nandishwar can also refer to the fact that Nanda is king here. So this Nandishwar is representative of Lord Shiva bowing his head at the feet of Lord Krishna here. Use my head as this hill for your residence. Lord Brahma, on the other hand, bows his foreheads in Varsana, the place where Radharani takes her birth. So we see that there are many hills in Varsana, and those are the four heads, representing the four heads of Lord Brahma. So now that we have kind of set the scene just a little bit, because in order to set the scene properly would take an entire lifetime, one that I would happily give. Um, but you know, for this morning, we've only got a little bit of time. There is a book known as Navavraj Mahima. This book is not just one book, it's 9 volumes of books with hundreds of pastimes of Krishna, compiled by His Holiness Shivaram Swami. This book is a treasure trove of pastimes and pastime places. You could go on Parigram, a different place, every single day with this book, and you could lose yourself in the pastimes of Krishna and still not get enough. This particular pastime that I'm going to read to you, I have read several times over and over and over again, and still I feel like I have not memorized it fully. So this is Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. This is Krishna himself. Krishna is so enlivened and so enraptured by his own pastimes that he engages his own yoga maya potency to help him forget what comes next, to help him get even further engrossed in these pastimes. So let us, I definitely will. I will add Navraj Mahima to the YouTube description. I'll add the link in there somewhere, somehow. They also do have it on ebook, but it is a very extensive set of books, and kind of worth it to hold the book in your hand. It is so well done. These pages are glorious. If we just look, and every so often I'll kind of be showing, like, because they're like hand drawn in the middle of this book. How cute is this cow? So there are things like that you miss in the ebook. And so as much as I love ebooks, because I am a small human and I can't carry around every book that I want to carry, I am a researcher. So I would have to carry around libraries and libraries of books, and I can't do it. So ebooks save my life. But this one is worth it. But I'll put the link to both. And for our benefit, luckily, Shivaram Maharaj just began reprinting this book. So he had only printed a limited number of sets, and then it was out of print for some time. And just this year, they started reprinting them. So they were selling them a lot at the recent Sadhu Sangha festival. And so I will try and find some links for you all so that you can purchase it. It is an investment. It's not cheap. But then again, neither is Krishna. So sometimes I feel like it's worth it, isn't it? You know, if you want to really look at a Christmas present for yourself or for someone close to you, it is so worth it. This book is like having the entirety of Vrindavan in your home. And it is a labor of love, a compilation, the likes of which I've never really seen before like this. So I am forever indebted. These pastimes are incredibly sweet. They steal the heart. And the way that Shivaram Maharaj is able to compile from so many of our spiritual teachers and acharyas, the words and pastimes of Sri Krishna, is something that is unparalleled. It is just phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about the writing of Shivaram Maharaj. If I can attribute my own writing to a few of my favorite people, Shivaram Maharaj, reading his commentaries and the way that he pieces together these pastimes gave me permission to write. just reading them gave me a permission to write that I had not seen anywhere else. And then, on the other hand, whenever I have writer's block, whenever I'm feeling stuck, whenever I'm feeling stagnant, all I do is look for anything by Sachinandan Swami. There is something in his expressions that remind me that I don't have to make it so complicated for myself. I simply have to express what is within my heart. And then, of course, there are many others. I don't think that I would be as enlivened throughout COVID without our Indradumna Maharaj, who I feel is now our Rasik Acharya. He has been giving such nectar. And it's not even just in one place. You know, everywhere he goes, he has this vast wealth of nectar. And it's pastimes that you've heard before, and then somehow they are made so much sweeter. Isn't it? Anyone who's heard Indradumna Maharaj speak, it is just, I don't get it. But that's Krishna. I love those moments in Krishna consciousness where I'm like, I don't get it, but I want to find it. Those moments keep me going. They keep us focused. So, I'll read just a little bit to set the scene before I get into this pastime. From the expansive area housing Krishna's cows at Goshalastan, Krishna, Balaram, and their friends gather the cows in the morning and herd them to wherever they want to go that day. On some days, the boys head towards Madhuvan, on others to Kamyavan. On many days, they prefer Govardhan, or to satisfy Balaram, the far side of the Jamuna, Bhadravan, and beyond. But whatever their destination, the Gopa's departure with the cows is always colorful, exciting, and emotional. A festival of gaiety for all those going out, but a somber event for those staying behind. Can you imagine being one of the little ones who can't go out with Krishna yet? You're too young. When you get older, you can go out with Kana. But everyone's life mission is just to be able to go out with Krishna. Imagine that being all we want from our day. The cows take the lead, directed by Krishna's flute song, kicking their hind legs in the air, shaking their necks and repeatedly lowing as they turn their heads to glance lovingly at the divine brothers. The cowherd boys play flutes, blow buffalo horns, and sing about Krishna's many victories over the demons as they dance, twirl sticks, and show off to their elders in many clever ways. Sometimes the Gopas make a single line, each boy holding the dhoti of the boy in front of him, forming a giant colorful serpent that slowly snakes its way into the forest and out of sight. Of all the available accounts of Krishna's and Balaram's morning departures for the forest, the one spoken by the gopis as they praise Krishna's flute song is by far the most charming and vivid. The cowherd girls say, "Oh friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." How amazing is our Krishna Balaram? Anyone who has been to Vrindavan and has seen Krishna Balaram, just imagine. We wake up in the morning, we go running to see them. Why? Because Soon they'll leave with their cows. They will head into the forests to herd their cows and do their job. But we get to drink them in with our eyes. What better use of vision could there be? We think, for those who have eyes, there is no greater object of vision. These are the words of the gopis. These are the words of those who looked upon the faces of Krishna Balaram. How amazing. So, now we'll head into our adventurous pastime for today. We will head to a beautiful place with a large kund, a lake of water. So, Mother Yashoda rises early in the morning and bathes at Yashoda Kund. If Krishna and Balaram are awake, she brings them along and bathes them while they play in the water. So we find ourselves near Yashoda Kund. Closer to Nandishwar Hill are numerous places connected with the Lord and his companions. So this is beginning with Yashoda Kund and the thicket of thorn trees growing near Hau Bilao Kund. Freshly bathed, dressed, and ornamented, Mother Yashoda goes to the nearby temple of Lord Nrsimha and prays for the welfare of her sons while they remain engrossed in play on the banks of her lake. So beautiful, Braj. We have lakes filled with water where Mother Yashoda will bathe, and temples. So many temples. Here we have at this place the temple of Sri Nrsimha, our great protector, who Mother Yashoda even prays to protect the Lord himself. Krishna, Balaram, and their childhood friends are oblivious to the passing of time, and even to their own empty stomachs, as they play amongst the many groves that surround Yashoda Kund. Mother Yashoda sends Rohini Devi to bring the brothers back to bathe and eat. So we heard about this last week also. If the two boys ignore Rohini's appeals, Krishna's mother comes herself, sometimes with a stick in hand. Mother Yashoda once came to collect her naughty sons, moving with the gait of a majestic swan. Out of her great affection for Krishna and Balaram, the milk of love flowed from her breasts. So we've seen this time and again, and we'll continue to see it. Yashoda found the children frolicking by the river, their bodies covered with dust and sand, their clothes and hair disheveled, and their ornaments scattered from the boys' long morning at play. "My dear son," she called, "just look at you, the son of a king, dirty from head to toe. Come home, bathe, and eat your lunch. After you rest, you can come back and play with your friends." Krishna stopped for a moment in the midst of playing Koko and looked affectionately at his mother. But prompted by his friends, he continued with the game, running past his opponents. Uh-oh. Her requests repeatedly ignored, Mother Yashoda entered the game with determination, first following, then chasing Krishna through the kunjas, while the excited children cheered for Krishna as he fled. So now, Krishna has this habit of running away from his mother, often, and causing her much trouble. Yashoda was running very swiftly, and so her hair loosened, and the flowers fell from her braid, and they fell into her footprints, as if the Lord's pastime potency were glorifying her lotus feet with a shower of flower petals. And this is why I love these descriptions. Because what? Who could think of this? This is Krishna consciousness. Gosh, I love it. Years before, when Krishna used to break the butter pots and feed butter to the monkeys, Yashoda could catch her son with some effort. Now he was older and faster. She could no longer keep up with him. Fearful of the consequences of his misbehavior, But pleased with himself for being able to escape his mother, Krishna hid in the thicket. No longer able to see him anywhere, Yashoda then changed tactics. Mother Yashoda was unable to catch her son, but determined not to be outsmarted. She turned in the direction of a cluster of thorn trees, covered her eyes with her hands, and cried out in false alarm, "Oh, how horrible! How horrible! It is the How! The How!" Hearing these cries, the boys froze in their tracks and looked from Mother Yashoda to the thicket and then back again to her. What was it? Mother Yashoda, clutching her skirt, turned and ran as she called, "Everyone run! The How have come to devour us! Run, run!" She ran down the road to Nandeshwar Hill without looking back. Never having doubted the truthfulness of Braj's queen, the children cried in unison, "How, how, run, run!" They grabbed Krishna, put him in between them, and ran after Yashoda, too frightened to look back. Fortunate were the demigods. Through the treetops, they were able to see Yashoda running along the forest path, followed by a train of gopas, each one determined to be the first to enter the safety of the city gates. Fortunate are those devotees who meditate upon the unrivaled sweetness of Mother Yashoda's flushed face as she secretly glances at the boys behind her while suppressing a mischievous smile. May the mother of that frightened little boy who holds the hand of his equally frightened elder brother, the mother who ushered her children into the safety of their father's palace, protect us all. Last week, we spoke about Krishna's two small teeth protecting us all, about Krishna's lotus face protecting us all, about how if one simply remembers the birth and pastimes of Sri Krishna, we are protected from any and all dangers, the most incredible type of danger, the danger of forgetfulness of our friend, the danger of thinking that this is our real home, the danger of thinking that this place is all there is. May the remembrance of this pastime protect us all. And we have a photo. Just look. And she's a little angry. You know, come home. But look at how such a big man Krishna is, you know? I'm a big man. He's playing with his friends, and Balaram is there, and all the friends are there. And Mother Yashoda just wants to feed her son. But doesn't he look like he's so important? Who can tell him anything? Krishna chose to play indoors that afternoon rather than venture out. He did glance occasionally over the palace parapet towards Yashoda Kund, but could see no how, whatever they might be. Some days later, Mother Yashoda was seated by her lake, watching her two playful sons color the forest blue and white with their bodily effulgences. Ah, and listening to them fill the air with happy laughter. Krishna, tired from playing, wearily came to his mother's side. Yashoda wiped the dirt from his face, with the end of her sari, and placed him on her lap, holding his butter-soft body against her own. I can't take it. It's too cute.
Oh, really?
Comfortable in the protection of his mother's embrace. Oh, whoops. Oh, we got it. Okay. Comfortable in the protection of his mother's embrace, Krishna asked, "Mother, what are how? Where are they?" Rocking back and forth, Yashoda replied, "Legend says they are fierce beasts that eat children." As he nestled in his mother's bosom, Gopal asked, "What do they look like?" Yashoda said, "Well, They have long ears, huge mouths, sharp, pointed teeth, horrible red eyes, and fire coming from their nostrils. Krishna looked around the forest. Would they have eaten us the other day? Yashoda kissed Krishna's head and replied, No, dear. How aren't real. They're just stories for scaring naughty children. Hari looked into his mother's eyes. But, but, but you saw some, and then you ran away. Mother Yashoda caressed her son's incredulous face and answered, I made that up to scare you into coming home. Krishna paused for a moment. During his human-like pastimes, his faith in his mother was absolute. He could not accept a reality different from what she had said. He shook his head and replied, No, no. If my mother says there were how, then there must have been how. Yashoda Devi replied, But I just told you that there were none. I made it up. Krishna was adamant. Again, he shook his head. You said that how live in the thicket. It must be so. Now it was Krishna's turn to play a joke. He lifted his arm, pointed to the thicket of thorn trees, and emphatically said, Look, look! Yashoda smiled indulgently and glanced to where Krishna was pointing. Her smile quickly vanished. From out of the thicket came 4 terrible-looking creatures, moving stealthily in her direction. Smiling at Balaram standing nearby, Krishna winked and said, How? These were not the stuff of superstition. Real flames were shooting from their nostrils, and they were very clearly intent on devouring them. This is the problem with having the Supreme Person as your child. Why is he troubling his mother like this? Why? Why are you doing this to her? Why? How? This is ridiculous. Literally, how? For an instant, Mother Yashoda could not move. Then she shrieked, grabbed Balaram's hand, held Krishna even tighter, and jumped to her feet. She ran down the path back to Nandagram as fast as she could. And, just in case we were wondering, here are the fearsome creatures themselves, intent on devouring everyone. His face. Ah, too much sweetness. Krishna felt quite pleased with himself. Peering over Mother Yashoda's shoulder, he saw the fearsome, bloodthirsty How bounding after them, getting closer and closer with each step. Krishna looked impishly at his brother Balaram, who raised his eyebrows in approval and added to their mother's fears by sobbing hysterically and wailing, We are finished! We are finished! These boys are too much. Then, just as the howl came within arm's length, naughty Krishna transformed the creatures into stone statues, even as he continued to call out in false alarm, Faster, mother, faster, they're coming! Mother Yashoda ran through the gateway of Nandagram and ordered the soldiers to shut the gates behind them. She kept on running until they were inside the palace with all the doors closed and locked. Krishna had played a clever trick on Mother Yashoda, but a reaction quickly came to him. The gates to Nanda Bhavan were locked, and the guards had strict orders not to let the brothers outside. As much as Krishna tried to convince his mother that the How were just products of his mystic power and could not harm anyone, she was unconvinced. Serves you right. That's what you get. Stop using your mystic powers to trouble your mother. The stone remnants of the How did not help his case. Only after Nanda Maharaj intervened on behalf of his sons, and Yashoda had personally inspected the stone How, were Krishna and Balaram allowed out of the compound into the forest. Even today, 4 stone How can be seen at How Bilal, where mothers scare their naughty children with stories of these monsters, although the children know full well that the how are just a myth. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Habila ki jai, Shri Yashoda Kund ki jai, Nandagram ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. This is our Vrindavan. So thanks, dear devotees, for coming with me today on Yatra. We got to see a very, very beautiful place, resplendent with groves and gardens and peacocks and the laughter of small young gopas and the mischievousness of Krishna. This is Mother Yashoda trying to tell Krishna it's time to come home. And last week we were reflecting on, have we ever felt as though we have gotten this call? We've been playing in this material world for far too long. We're tired, hungry, covered head to toe in the dirt of this material conditioning. It's time to come home now. We don't want to engage anymore here. And yet we think that this is all there is. This game is all there is, friends. Let's stay and play a little longer. Let's go home. Let's grab each other by the hand, catch the end cloth of the one in front of us, and go journeying back home. Shubha Vilas Prabhu, who's a really wonderful author and godbrother of mine, gave a lecture, and he spoke about the monkeys in the wonderful pastime of Sri Ram, the Vanara soldiers, which I think is really wonderful because yesterday was known as Vivaha Panchami, and that is actually known as the anniversary of the day where Sri Ram and Sita got married. So it's nice to put a little bit of Ram Katha into today. So he was speaking about how the monkeys were engaged in searching for Sita, who had been kidnapped by Ravan. And when these monkey soldiers came to they went in the southern direction, and they came to a cave. The cave was pitch black. Could not see your hand in front of your face. Angad, who was the son of Bali, who was the former king of the Vanara soldiers. He was crown prince of the whole Vanara kingdom. He said, I can't go in there. I can't see anything. This seems like certain danger, and I'm crown prince. Right? If I lose my life, what will become of the kingdom of the Vanaras? All of Kishkinda will feel like they have no one to guide them. And so Angad thinks, I won't go. And so many monkey soldiers think, I also won't go. If Angad won't go, how can I go? Hanuman has faith that he can go. And so Hanuman leads the way, and he goes in first. And one monkey grabs Hanuman's tail. And then the monkey behind grabs that monkey's tail. And then they all hold on to each other's tails to navigate their way through the darkness. And Shubh-Vilas Prabhu was saying, this is our Guru Parampara. This is our tradition. This is our disciplic succession. Maybe I don't know about having faith in Krishna yet, but I have faith in those who have faith in Krishna. And so as the boys would hold on to the endotis of one another to navigate their way through the forest, knowing that Krishna was right up ahead, as the monkeys would hold on to each other's tails, having faith in Hanuman's faith, we can hold on to the hands of our gurus, our friends, our tribe, and we can make it through this place. We don't have to stay here, because the playful pastimes that are awaiting us in the spiritual world are so much better than anything we could ever imagine. so much better than any kind of interaction that we will have here. But we catch small glimpses of that greatness when we come together in sanghas like this. When we come together and hear from one another, when we come together and laugh together, when we close our eyes and just listen, when we let these pastimes soothe our heart. Because I don't know about you, but that pastime of Hal Bilal and Yashoda Kund is one that soothes my heart anytime I'm having a bad day. All I have to do is start from there. And the remembrance of these pastimes protects us all. I feel protected when I read Krishna's pastimes. I feel protected when I get to share them with all of you. This is the undisputed wealth of my life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu urged, begged, beseeched, yearned for everyone he knew and came in contact with to just tell others, Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, Krishna is the treasure of your life. Krishna is our everything. One day, we will hear Mother Yashoda calling to all of us, it's time to come home. Through the representatives of our gurus, we will hear that call, come home now. May we all heed the call. We can grab each other's hands and take everybody we know with us. No one gets left behind. I don't care if they want to stay here and play. I'm taking you with me. You've all forfeited your chance to come back to this place again. We can't do this again. But we can go find Krishna. So I want to thank you all for being with me and sharing in this pilgrimage day. Today you've been out in Braj. May the rest of your day be so fortunate. I thank you so, so much. Whether you've stayed up to be here or whether you've gotten up early to be here or whether it's the middle of the day, and however you took out time to be here, thank you. Not only does it mean so much to me, but I promise you it means so much to Krishna. This is why we do this. Because Krishna is yearning to see us and to spend time with us. So thank you for taking out a valuable hour of your morning and your day to be here. At one point, maybe we'll all have to figure out how to go see Hal Bilal and the Stone How together in person, because you can go there and still see them. You can touch them. we can remember their pastimes, and we can remember the laughter of Krishna and Balaram as he looks at his brother and he winks. He's like, how? You see what I've done? Luckily that plan backfired on him. But we can go to these places and we can tell this story again and again. It will never get old. Ever youthful, ever exciting. So thanks, friends. I love you all so, so much. Next week, same time, same place, we'll gather here and we'll hear more pastimes. We'll go to more pastime places. I do see that some demon killing is in the foreseeable future for all of us who stay tuned next week. But let's all gather back together here and go on Parikram again. Let's go on Yatra again. Let's not stay stuck wherever we are. Let's go find another forest and visit it. So thank you. Everybody be blessed, be happy. It's the start of a new week, but now Mondays, actually, I don't feel sad or drained on Mondays anymore. I now feel enlivened because Mondays are the days where we have see-through. So I'm happy about Mondays now. May your Monday be blissful. See you all soon. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All of you ki jai.